Right, guys, I'm back again for doing a screencast, and I think I better start a screencast actually. But this time, the screencast is just there on its own without the Facebook Live running at the same time. So I think there was a conflict. In fact, there was no volume, and I don't think you can do the two volumes together, one for the screencast and the other one for the Wirecast, or rather let me just refresh my mind. Yeah, for the screen flow recording. Okay, so I think what's happened is that in the end I didn't have any sound for the actual video which was on YouTube. Luckily, I noticed quite early, so I've since made that video private, and I've decided to shoot another one. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the same content that I was talking about. So first of all, I talked about the Zimbabwe result against Tunisia. We know that Zimbabwe lost 4-2, and a lot of my friends who support Zimbabwe, they anticipated that we were going to lose. And I find it strange that as a people we should anticipate to lose. And after we lost, I thought, we knew we were going to lose anyway, So that means Zimbabwe has been knocked out. Okay, so something needs to be done. I mean, if you already expect to lose, it means you've been planning to lose all along. And one of the reasons I think one of the reasons why we are losing, or one of the reasons why we don't make it very far in football, is because of the time and capital investment that we put. For example, I know as individuals you don't expect people to have the money to invest, but sometimes it doesn't take a lot of money. As individuals, if you buy a Dynamos or Highlanders t-shirt, or you subscribe, or maybe you become a paying member of the team, and you're paying your subscriptions every month, that should help the team to move forward. A lot of people are still saying they are supporters of Dynamos and Highlanders and Cape United, but they are not putting any monetary or time investment, especially time. We spend time talking about English football, about Spanish football. Then when it comes to the team, Zimbabwe team actually playing, that's when people start talking about Zimbabwe. And I think already we've lost, because all along we've been talking about Chelsea, for example. And so I just wanted to say that we need to put more time and more money into football if we're going to invest. I mean, it all starts from the grassroots. I mean, I've taught in the rural areas, and I know that there are talented people there who played football but who've never made it anywhere, because we've got a system which does not recognize that talent or nurture it. We see the talent, but we're not doing anything to sort of streamline it and get it to higher levels. Okay, so actually I wanted to talk about digital real estate. And so what is digital real estate? So it's the digital content which is available today on the internet. And I don't think that as Africans we're putting enough digital content onto the internet. And I think that our stories are being told by someone else. You still have the BBC Africa being the source of news for most African countries, because the actual news agencies in the country are either supporting a particular political party, in which case their news is biased towards that political party. But then you've got the likes of CNN. I think they've got an African program. You've got the BBC. You've got other, Al Jazeera, for example. They do cover some parts of Africa. And the African, for example, ZBC in Zimbabwe, it's only known to Zimbabweans. It's not something, it's not a brand that is trying to grow itself outside the borders. We don't see them covering major events, for example. So digital real estate means that we need more digital content. I know we are typing a lot on Facebook. A lot of people are now on Twitter. That's positive, but we've also got a lot of information just accumulating on WhatsApp. And there is not much that's going to happen to that information. In fact, I always say that information is buried. It's either Mark Zuckerberg and his friends are doing something with that information, because at a personal level, I don't think we're benefiting from it. Okay, so there are different platforms today where we can, or where people are engaged in creating digital content, including Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Okay, but quite a few on Snapchat, quite a few on Instagram, a bit more on Twitter, then a lot on WhatsApp, and a lot on Facebook. The number of groups and pages and on WhatsApp and Facebook is amazing. Okay, but the problem with these platforms is that they are mostly content distribution platforms. So people are mainly just distributing their content on these platforms. They are not really that information which is there is not really searchable or available for a long time to come. So Instagram and Snapchat are new platforms which a few are slowly starting to join, but I think that there should be more participation on those platforms. Okay, then we have live streaming. We have YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, Instagram. Okay, and there are many more live streaming platforms. And the reason they are there is because the internet itself is becoming, in fact, it is the current state of the internet. It is what the internet is today. The internet is moving into live streaming because of the capabilities, the technological capabilities, which have enabled a greater bandwidth to be available for such. I remember when Facebook Live started, it was just for celebrities because they wanted to see if the network can sustain the increased bandwidth, the increased amount of bandwidth that's needed for such live streaming to take place. Okay. Then we have Periscope, which was bought by Twitter, and then we have Instagram, which also has Instagram Live. Okay, so I think the point that people should be aware of is that on all of these platforms, okay, they should be working on their personal brand. So your personal brand is that's what people talk about when you're not there, or that's what people see value in you when they want something done and they are looking for you. Okay, they are seeing value in you, so that's your personal brand. It's what people talk about when you leave the room, basically. Okay, and that's what we should be working on. Now the problem is, okay, as far as I can see, the problem is that a lot of people are not living their actual lives on social media. Okay, because they regard it as social media. Okay, they don't regard it as the current state of the internet. I mean, when you are sending an email to someone, you are presenting yourself as you are. That was the state of the internet at that time. But now you can get more messages across through live streaming than you would through email. So live streaming is something that people can take advantage of in terms of building their own personal brands, because a personal brand mean that a lot of people might want to follow what you are talking about. And if you've got a good brand, then it means that you've got more followers, and if you've got more followers, it means that they benefit. Okay, so imagine if we had many people with brilliant personal brands, and they are being followed, and their information is being useful and they're providing value, then everyone benefits. Okay, so we should be working on our personal brands. But I think the problem is that a lot of people regard social media as escapism, some place to escape from their normal lives. So when they are on social media, they are presenting a side of themselves which is really just trying to relax, to get away from their normal day-to-day lives. Because I think a lot of people are doing stuff they don't really like. They're doing jobs that they don't really like. But because they have to put food on the table, so they're just going ahead and doing those jobs. Then when they're out of their jobs, then on social media they're presenting a different side to them, maybe a more authentic side, although some are not putting their authentic selves out on social media because they think it's social media and not the current state of the internet. Now, I've got news for those people that think that this is just social media. Wait till virtual reality comes, and then you realize that the skills that you are acquiring in social media today will be very useful when virtual reality finally comes alive, and all we do is blink to log onto the internet. Imagine contact lenses that give you access to YouTube, give you access to Google and stuff like that. So the last point, and I also talked about this on my Facebook Live, is that time is capital. And now why is time capital? Well, time is capital because right now if you're listening to this and you've been listening for the last 12 minutes, okay, it means that I've just taken 12 minutes out of your schedule, out of your life. That 12 minutes will never come back, okay? But was it a valuable 12 minutes? If it was a valuable 12 minutes, then you're more likely to invest more time in the things that I'm going to be talking about on this channel. So time is capital, and let's not and I never take for granted the time that a person is spending, or that you are spending watching this video, because I know you've got other things to do. Okay, you could be watching another video, you could be doing something else, but you've decided that you're going to watch this video up to now. Okay, so it's on 13 minutes into the video, and if you're still watching, it means that I've been providing that value. Okay, if you've since stopped watching it, okay, maybe you're gonna try and watch the next one. Okay, so I'm not gonna take any more of your time. Okay, I've come to the end of this live YouTube stream. Like I explained at the start, I've made this video because I realized that the one that I made on my computer using the Wirecast Play did not really record the volume, so there was no sound on that video. So I've made another one, okay, and this one at least will have the sound and you can listen to it. Thank you for watching. My name is Derek Tafuma of DerekTafuma.com.